Welcome to episode 1 of the What Works for WELLTI in Dubai Insights and Research series. Hi, I'm Timothy Maurice, a behavioral psychology author and researcher with KDM and Associates. We are delighted to bring you an inspiring podcast series where we learn from and interview women and men from around the world at the 2022 WELLTI, Women Empowered Leave Legacies Through Trade and Investment Summit, where Commerce's International Trade Administration's Office of the Middle East and Africa, MEA, launched the first WELLTI Summit in person in Dubai. In this series, you'll hear from leaders from the U.S. Department of Commerce, WELLTI Initiative, and the women entrepreneurs themselves. In this first episode, you'll meet the founder of KDM and Associates, Keith Moore, and he'll share his vision and how KDM and MBDA plans to support WELLTI initiatives, and he'll also share a little about our sponsor, who helped make sure we could produce this series in a meaningful way. At the end of this episode, I got a chance to speak to the sponsor, Anthony Irudhayanathan, president at Zillion, on why WELLTI's mission means so much to him and our team. Meet Keith Moore. Keith Moore, welcome.
Tim, thank you so much for being my partner in Dubai.
It's an absolute delight. On the ground there, we had so much. It was so riveting to see so many inspiring business leaders on the ground. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. But tell us, from your vantage point, from your decades, multiple decades of working in this environment of helping women and leaders access the funds and the resources to accomplish their dreams, why partner with WELLTI?
Well, wow, that's a great question because it brings me back to even how we got started. And I have to give credit to our position as the operator of the MBDA Federal Procurement Center and our monthly meetings where Terry Batch, the director of the International Trade Administration, in terms of this particular WELLTI program, who is on loan and a bridge associate with MBDA, let me know through her presentation how this focus on women and leading by legacy, focusing on how technology was advancing their women's businesses and legacy, all created a connecting link for our mission, which is to help minority businesses engage in growing their revenues, expanding their job base by successfully winning contracts. So in this case, we were able to see a clear linkage between the minority women who came from the US to be a part of this program and how we could literally have conversations with them about joining us as clients and utilizing the services of MBDA to grow their business through the WELLTI relationship. So that we accomplished.
Awesome. You know, one of the things I enjoyed about the leaders at the International Trade, from Terry, Karen, is they're rigorously focused on making sure that these female entrepreneurs have access. And that's why they brought us on. At the end of the day, is to make sure that these women are not just talked to or preached to, but they're given tangible resources. And it's one of the things that came up, and you'll hear everyone listening from around the world will be able to hear throughout these conversations that women don't just want to be preached to. They want real access. They want to know who to speak to, how to speak to them, and so forth. Share a little bit more about how KDM, MBDA, and all of our partners, even our sponsors, Zillion, how all of us can add value to these women.
To your point about what you saw firsthand, Tim, and heard from the women, I brought back with me a statement by Camille Richardson, who led this delegation, if you will, and did such an amazing, empowering job of letting everyone who was there know that this was intentional, deliberate, and committed, and is going to be scalable and sustainable. And the women participating will be a part of it integrally. And that was the fact that they said it's in her panel. I think at the end they said, this is not about women getting to the table. This is about women at the table whose voices will be heard. I left there recognizing that our job was to bring that message back, take close examination of historically what has not happened, or even the chronology of women's suffrage to now, women being the mothers of rebirth of our nation and our values and our way towards equality in a way that we've never seen before. Just so happens to be in the most wonderful place in the world, in my opinion, so far, in Dubai. So it all worked for the good of, and I so look forward to, working with you and our team to get that message out globally to help resonate that message.
What I appreciated the most on the ground is, as we got a chance to sit and listen to these women, is just how diverse their business portfolios were. From working with women, speaking to women in infrastructure, women who are working literally in textiles, to all types of industries. What are one or two of the things that you think all of these women have in common in terms of what we can offer them, in terms of supporting them to access the type of resources they need? What are some of the things that all of them seem to have in common?
Well, great question, because what's so evident to me in terms of the commonality amongst the women, that I'm happy to say we probably have about at least at minimum 5 new women minority business clients as a result of the WELLTI conference. And so let me just look at those 5 women and the commonality of recognizing that they had to go through the psychological journey, the metamorphical one, where they needed to know, come to grips with where they were at their level of competency and capacity, which then allowed them to know what kind of support that they needed specifically. I saw women who were women of faith, who relied not just on themselves, but their, higher power and their belief systems to bring in those resources. And I think Dubai became a crescendo moment with the words that were said, the energy that was vibed. And once again, it was in Dubai, where they got exactly all they needed, for much is given, much as they felt, I believe, required of them. So the ingenuity, the engineering, the entrepreneurialism that each woman-owned business carries to this day was now connected to an experience of unity that would bring about a confidence in equanimity. And I really am excited for them. We'll be their next best friend and fan by giving 100% of our technical resources to their aspirations, and make sure that, as any mentor-mentee relationship, that they feel that they know more today when we've engaged than they did yesterday. And with that, they take on another level of confidence to move on to the next scale, whether it's purchasing real estate in a warehouse, whether it's going into manufacturing at a level where they own that real estate and they work with the city that they really don't have a relationship with, but because of their knowledge of what they've gained in terms of what both XM Import, XM Bank, for example, or ITA or MBDA, or any of the other federal agencies like EDA in terms of funding, all now are not something that causes them to stay stuck, but to stay moving forward. And that's why we call this What Works for Women, WELLTI in Dubai, because we give Dubai that experience, that credit.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Keith. What you guys can look forward to in this series is hearing from extraordinary women. There are two things I want you to look out for as you download each of these episodes. One is we went into this conversations hoping to learn, not to preach. And the questions were formatted in a way where we wanted to know, how can we support? What additional things do they need? So if you're listening from wherever you are and you plug into our system, you will hear how you can come on board and be a part of these conversations. That's very important. We want to be an aggregate. We want you to be able to plug into our services to be able to, so that we can connect you to the type of resources that these women need, that, you can come through us for additional support. And then I also want you to hear the passion and the intelligence and the high IQ of these women. You're going to hear that these women are bold, bright, and brilliant. And I can't wait for you to hear it. And I can't wait for you to download this series. You have all the scripting details in the notes below this episode for you to be able to access it and share it. And we're delighted that you chose to listen. Any final words and comments from you, Keith, as we wrap it up?
Well, first of all, I want to so obviously thank God for everything that is good, perfect, pure, and also give Zillion Technologies a shout out, because that CEO, Anthony, better preferred to be called by Nathan in his last name, who's Indian descent, who came to the US with humble beginnings, literally no more than $400, who now runs a multi-million-dollar organization and is focused on the Internet of Things, was very supportive of us to be able to even put this production on. And so thanks to Zillion Technologies. I also want to give credit to people like Karen Burgess and Terry Batch and Joanne Hill for venturing into a land of opportunity, land of dreams in Dubai that literally can turn into opportunities, and opportunities into fortunes of aspirations and ideas that literally, thanks to innovation, technology, and leadership, women leadership who are bold, as you said, beautiful and brilliant, will all come together for a good purpose that's sustainably scalable, and it's scalable by one country at a time. And ultimately around the globe, women will be empowered like never before. That's exciting. Number two, and in closing, I wanted to recognize the sectors, whether it was construction, whether it is healthcare, staffing, infrastructure, AI, all of that was touched on. Companies who were vendors connected. And I want to give credit to people like Awufa Ben Turkey, from CEO and founder of MTY Intelligence Software from Algeria, who has followed up. I want to give credit to Creston Menyon, an accounting firm who literally was there from CEO to their entire team, giving out wonderful books, maps, and runways, really on how to do business in Dubai. And we look forward to, Tim, because of that experience, as you know, we're opening up our office in South Africa this year. Next year, having an office in Dubai because of this experience. So we're committed, we're thankful, and we feel that we've checked a big, big box that's only going to get bigger. And to Camille, Richardson and Cynthia Griffin, leaders of the U.S. Commercial Service, and others that I probably get in trouble now because I've mentioned names specific that I haven't named. You know who you are. We thank you for the opportunity to tell the world what works for women at WELLTI in Dubai.
I think that's the perfect way to close. I'll just say that as the world becomes a global village, there are a few centers and regions around the world that will host global conversations, and Dubai is certainly one of them. Thank you, Dubai. Thank you to the entire team. Thank you to you, Keith, and your commitment to women's leadership inspired by our mothers. And now, meet our sponsor, Anthony Irudhayanathan, the CEO of Zillion Technologies. Thank you so much, Anthony, for joining us on this special episode. What we wanted to do was affirm your commitment and first ask you, why did you decide to sponsor this women's leadership series?
Okay. It's been an honor to be a part of it, but I put, a lot of efforts been talking to Keith and everyone, because anything with this, because related to women, I always encouraged, because the reason is I grew up with a very large family. I have almost like 8 siblings. Out of 8 siblings, I have 5 sisters. So definitely it's my passion and my eagerness and my willingness. I always want to, build something and support the woman empowerment. Okay. And that is one of the key things. And I don't know whether you saw my recent article. I wrote very clearly, from zero to zillion, every person has a, woman behind it. For me, it's a 4 women or 3 women behind me because of my success. So to tell you the truth, is like, it is my, what should I say? It's a within the, the built-in and the blood with the Zillion for the woman empowerment support. So that is the main goal of all this.
Well, we're really grateful that it's in your bloodline, it's in your DNA to do this, and it's a part of your own personal philosophy. And you understand, as we do, the fact that it's good business, that beyond the moral imperative, all the data shows, everything from the McKinsey Women Matter report, that more diversity on your board, more diversity at the executive level, organizations perform better. So we want to thank you. We want to thank you for that. And, any other thoughts about women before we share a little bit about Zillion Technologies?
Sure, definitely. I really want to add one more thing. Right? Women, they make a good decision. Right? Many times, if I cannot make a decision, I always ask my wife, why didn't you handle it and fix it? Right? They make a good decision. So coming back to Zillion Technology, right? It's a history and a story. Like, Zillion Technology, I always say is like zero to zillion. I started this company with $400, right? 20 years back. The best thing is, we celebrated our 20th anniversary. Yesterday was my 20th anniversary for Zillion. So, we started Zillion with $400, and, now we are marching around $100 million in revenue, and we carry more than $250 million portfolio within the organization as a group. So the good thing and the niche thing, what Zillion has been doing for the last 20 years, we provide a digital modern IT support and solutions. What does that mean? We work on low code, no code environment. We work on automation, which is, we use a lot of RPA work, robotic process automation. That is one thing. And the second thing is, we have our own mechanism of cloud migrations. We do a lot of, we're the first company built a cloud-based environment in 1998. When we talk about cloud, people used to look at the sky and saying, what do you mean talking about? Right? So nobody even know about what is in cloud in 98, 99. Those days, people are focused on Y2K problem rather than the innovation, right? And we also have our R&D where we have innovated a lot of products, like a cybersecurity product. We invented a AI-driven cyber risk prevention and remediation tool. A lot of tools in the market, you can see one product will show you the problem, other product you have to buy it to remediate the problem. Third product you have to do prevent the problem or manually do it. So we invented a tool which is AI-driven cyber risk prevention and a remediation tool. That is one of the unique tool that we've been catering to the global market right now. And also like talking about Zillion, because most of the company, they talk about the revenue, but I always talk about what we spend on our R&D. So 12% of our revenue goes back to an R&D, we encourage within the R&D, 33% are women, just to tell you.
Oh, wow. Amazing. That's wonderful. Yeah. Just share a little bit about how you see Zillion Technologies being able to support small businesses that are owned by women. If you think about it, women have extraordinary challenges. How could we, support women that are, first of all, let me just say this, that it's important to know that a female entrepreneur and a male entrepreneur doing the actual work is the same, but often there are more demands on women, as we know. So if a female entrepreneur is listening, how does Zillion Technologies support a female leader and entrepreneur?
See, actually, half of my, out of $100 million, almost like 70% of my revenue generated by the woman team. Okay. So, I don't see any difference I see a lot of efficiency there. Okay. They're a better decision maker. And the most important thing is they don't give any false excuse. That's what I always see. I'm right.
Got it.
So whatever the real thing is real thing. Okay. That's one thing I like about it. And so, that is, what should I say? If I got a preference to get more people, and definitely, my choice would be building a more women-based technology environment, basically, and also I support a lot of, abuse women shelters, and we have a lot of nonprofits that, we support. We have Girl Scout, which is, we support a lot of them. We have a STEM program that we've been supporting. Now, we got involved any and every events that been invited by Zillion. We support them, we sponsor them.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Well, Anthony, where can we find you? Share your website, share your details for everyone listening, all those who want to connect with you, and even thank you for supporting. How can we contact you? How can we reach out to you?
It's a very simple, I'm one of the easy boss, can access 24/7. My number is published everywhere. That's through my cell phone number. I call it one number. It's connected to my desk number, my laptop number, my cell phone number, even the global number. It's very easy. And, it's very easy to access, under the portfolio. I'm connected in LinkedIn. Anybody can reach me through the LinkedIn or via email, or they can call me. I'm happy to be support and help, and, also take their advantage of their knowledge and expertise into Zillion.
Well, Anthony, we are grateful for this partnership and this collaboration. We look forward to seeing what we can do together to continue using technology to help women accomplish their goals and dreams. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
A huge thanks to Keith Moore and our sponsor, Anthony from Zillion Technologies, and a big thank you to Terry Batch and Karen Barris from the U.S. Department of Commerce for your commitment to this extraordinary project. Please share this episode with anyone interested in supporting and empowering minority and female-owned businesses. You can find out more by going to www.trade.gov and searching WELLTI. Until next time.